So the thing is about being light skinned and being tall is that you're never really below like a 4 or 5, right? Like you're pretty attractive and most people find you conventionally attractive. And so there's never really a need to want to push for more. So what I actually did was I was about like I don't know, like a 6, right? When I was skinny and I didn't really look that good. So what I did was I started shaving the hair off my head to make myself go from like a 6 to like a 3. And that was actually what pushed me to actually build way more muscle, was shaving my head, making myself look even worse than I did right now to essentially push me to look better, right? Like I had no choice at that point. Me bald, like, and skinny and just frail looking, like I start to look like someone that might be doing chemotherapy, right? God forbid, but I didn't look good in that moment. And so it really did just push me to want to be better. It pushed me to also step into the identity of someone who is actually building that physique. It pushed me to believe that I was someone who was disciplined, right? Like I would have to shave my head multiple times every few weeks because if it would keep growing back, then I wouldn't, keep that identity that I really wanted to have. So that is actually something that grounded me and it made me believe that, okay, so little credibility check. Boom. I am about 190 centimeters, around 6'2", 6'3", and I am 28 years old. And in around 2022, I didn't always look the way I look right now. I had a pretty low amount of muscle. I was pretty skinny, and I mean, I was still 6'2", but the problem that I had was that I wanted to have a better life. Like I wanted to live my life like a superhero. And at the time, I wasn't. I didn't actually look anything like I do now. And the idea of what I look like right now was just an idea. I thought that, this was something I could achieve at some point in my life, but in the end, I never actually took the action to be able to do this. Just to give you a bit more context of what it's actually like. So, being my height, looking the way I do, I have no issue with women. I have no issue with getting attention from men or women, people pointing at me, people admiring the way that I look. And that never it never gets old, right? Like every single time that I'm in a social situation and there are other people around, I seem to be the center of attention in some kind of way, right? And it's not that it makes me feel bad, or it's not that I am this narcissist or someone who really gets a lot of energy off this attention. But in the end, the reasons why I actually wanted to get in shape in the first place was actually just to boost my attractiveness. I thought that I wasn't fully using my ability as a light skin, as someone who has this ability, right? We have a lot of shows out there like Love Island. We have all of these things that push a certain agenda for people who have a certain look, right? And I felt like I just wasn't using my potential fully. I was tall. I had a decently attractive face. I just felt like I wasn't fully using my genetics. But this video is actually going to be mostly about how it doesn't matter what your genetics are. It doesn't even matter what your DNA is, what you've done in the past, what you look like right now. Every single man should take their genetics, their insertions, whatever their body could look like, they need to uncover that. And they need to know how that actually feels, how it feels to be a man of their word, how it feels to be a man of true honor and be just fully in control of your life, of yourself, of what you put in your body, of how you feel every day and the kind of energy that comes with that. And I used to be someone who looked up to certain people that had the physique, that had the body, that had different lifestyles that in my local area just wasn't even something I could imagine. It wasn't even something that was considered possible. And I knew that if I put my mind to it, that it was going to be mine. And not a lot of other people had that. I don't know if it was the fact that I had two Leo parents and they always used to kind of big me up, and they used to, encourage me to be better and to push for more and to always, be the best at whatever I do. And that definitely helped. But the number one thing that really got me there was understanding that it was inevitable. That if I really pushed myself and I, put myself in the mindset that this could, like, if another human being can get this and they are no different to me, then why can't I? And not only that, but why not me? If another person can, why not me? So I put myself in the position where I put my back against the wall. I didn't want to keep on having this thing where, like, I want this goal and I want to look better, but then in the end, a year goes by and nothing actually changes. Every single resolution that came up, I would have to, like, have a sit down with myself and just come to realize that nothing had actually changed, and I was still the same old Brandon that I was the year before. And to be honest, like, that really hurt. That really hurt to know that I was destined for more, know that I could have been way better off, but kept on settling for less. Like, I was chronically addicted to video games. I used to play like 16 hours a day. I used to just spend so much time, like, doing things that weren't ever really serving me. I used to go out drinking sometimes. I used to go to parties, social events. If there was ever a work event, I would be there. I was really someone who took a lot of pride in, like, social gatherings and social aspects. But then I also remember some, like, really bad memories of, kind of being disrespected or being pushed, or like someone starting something on me. And I wanted that safety, that security from having the physique, from having something that I've truly built. And being someone who was like 24, 25 years old, the only thing that I could actually tell people that I've achieved in my life was a degree. Like, I was on the planet for 25 years, like 25 years of my life, and the only thing I had achieved was a business degree. And it was sad. So I just wanted to get my physique to a point where nobody was ever gonna, question what I had achieved in my life, or, wonder what my potential was, because it was dead in their face, right? Like, you can't negate someone's physique and the way that they look. But I'm just so glad that the day when I decided to do this 100% and make that plan and, like, fully follow through with it, that I did. Because doing this has built so much things within me. It's built that self-respect. It's built that thing in me, that discipline where I know that whatever I put my mind to, I will achieve it. And I know that I can do that. I can push myself outside of my comfort zone multiple times to go to the next level. And a lot of the time, like, every single level requires a certain level of sacrifice. And most people aren't willing to even sacrifice what they put in their mouth, let alone sacrifice other things like relationships or things that are, considered even more costly to them. But I've done that multiple times in my life now, to where I've just built this level of self-respect with myself where I just know that whatever I put my mind to now, it is mine. And obviously I had the dream of, being that guy who could take off their shirt and turn heads and, be at the beach. And I have that now, right? Like, when people see my physique now, they're like, holy shit, because I look like a superhero, right? So I stand out. It's really difficult to not have that reaction from people, because nobody else is willing to put in the sacrifice that I've put in to achieve the physique that I've got now. It was never enough for me to just be this guy who was a 3 or a 4, because of that fact that I always wanted to be better. I always wanted to have more, right? Like, every single time I was trying to compete in anything, I wanted to be the best. I went to school and I wanted to be number one. I hated being runners up. And if I would come runners up, my parents would actually be disappointed in me and I would also be disappointed. I would cry. That was the honest truth. But as I grew up, I started realizing that I was not actually fully using my potential. And that is why I wanted so badly to really change the trajectory of my life by getting in the best shape of my life first, because this is really foundational if you want to do anything in your life. If you want to grow your business, if you want to be better in your job, if you want to really knuckle down and start a family, like whatever it is. I've touched on so many things in this video that make you really realize already that this is not just a physical transformation to where you just look better, but this is way more than that, right? You get the respect, you get the status, you get the admiration from other people. You also feel that within yourself that, again, like you are someone who is respectable. You've done something that most people would just dream of, and they go to the grave wishing that they just acted earlier. Done.